listen.
If you want cheap and reliable free 40 Ultimate Team coins for all platforms, check out MMOJ, link will be in the description. Also in the description is a video proving they are legit. Just before we do head into the video, please remember these are my opinions and watch the video before you comment, because I do explain myself a hell of a lot, hence why the video is so long. And I also have a cold, so I do apologise that I sound like a complete twat. Hey guys, it's Melvin7 here, and today I'm bringing you my Manchester United predictions for next season. It's a video I've been looking forward to, and now the transfer window has officially opened. You know, I thought I'd bring it to you because the rumours now are kind of narrowing down into reality, kind of. Right, but anyway, how I'm going to start this is I'm going to have 5 players that we are heavily linked to, but I think are either unlikely or very unlikely to come to us. But they are players I would like to see in our team. They would probably fit in really, really well. And then I'll move on to the sub bench of players I think are going to be subbed. And then, you know, the main thing. Now, I've got 2 formations that I'm going to be using. 4-1-2-1-2 brackets 2 and 4-1-2-1-2. 2 variables that Van Gaal could switch. Now, I know there's been rumours that he's going to take the 3-4-3 into Manchester United, but at the minute they're just rumours. I don't know what formation he's going to do in terms of FIFA and in terms of, you know, real life with these players in it. The formations that I think are best suited are 4-1-2-1-2 and 4-1-2-1-2 brackets 2. But of course there's so many different formations, so that could be completely wrong. It's my opinions. But yeah, anyway, I'll get on to the 5 reserves. Right, so here are the 5 players that I think are unlikely to join us yet. Some of them I do think may join in the future, well, one of them, but you know, anyway, let's just get into this. So Robin, we are heavily linked, but he's about 40 million, and although he's fantastic and, you know, he doesn't show any sense of slowing down, he will eventually, since he is 30, and that's a massive price tag. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think he'd want to leave Bayern Munich because of how old he is. You know, I think he'd want to settle down, and I don't know, I just can't see it happening. As much as I like the guy and he likes Louis van Gaal, I would presume, I just can't see it happening, especially for the money. There are other players. Di Maria, he's probably one of the most likely out of these 5, probably second most likely, because his buyout closed about 40 million. He wants to leave Real Madrid. Now, there's different reports, some saying that he wants to join and his agent is pushing it through. His agent is the same as Van Persie's, by the way, so that could be, you know, a way to get him in. He's also got the agent of Depay and a few other players. But yeah, he's pushing for a move to Manchester United, his agent apparently. But apparently Di Maria said he wants Champions League football, which obviously we can't give him this year. But it's a possibility. It could happen. It could not. 40 million, I'd take him definitely. He's Real Madrid's 3rd best player in my opinion, behind Ronaldo and Bale. The next one is Mats Hummels. He's probably the most likely out of the lot, but I don't think we'll get him this season. I reckon he'll be one for next season. I think he wants to stay 1 more year in Borussia Dortmund. Now, Borussia Dortmund players, you can offer a lower sum of money because they have financial issues. So 20 million I think is what we're offering. If we can get him for that, that is absolutely fantastic considering the World Cup and the season he's had. He's an absolutely fantastic centre-back, and he could come. It's a possibility, but again, I just don't think it'll happen this year. It could happen. Hopefully I'm proved wrong. The next one is Victor Valdez. Now this would be a backup keeper for De Gea, and that's one of the reasons I think he's not going to come. I don't think he'll want to be a backup, which is why I think Arsenal or someone like that is more likely. We have been linked with an £8 million move, and you know, he would be a great backup keeper, but I just can't see it happening. And to be honest, Lindegaard, although he's unknown and everything, when I've seen him playing, he hasn't made too many mistakes, so I don't think that's absolutely necessary. But, you know, Van Gaal is an admirer of him, so possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen. The next one is James Rodriguez. Obviously, he's done fantastic in the World Cup. He's a bright talent, but the price tag on him is 65 million. Now, I usually say, like, if you can get, like, 10 good seasons out of them, then, you know, it's worth it. But with this player, if we did somehow sign him, I think he'd probably end up leaving in 4 or 5 years. And that price tag is a little too high, even for me. And, you know, I usually say money is nothing. But, though he is absolutely fantastic, he's shone through in the World Cup. but he plays for Monaco, and no offence, League One isn't the hardest league, and Monaco isn't the greatest team. He is fantastic, but 65 million, not just that, Real Madrid want him. Real Madrid will pay 65 million, it doesn't matter with them, they'll get it back through shirt sales, we probably would as well, so maybe 65 million is justified, but we'll see. It's just something I don't think we're going to be prepared to pay, considering how much we're going to have to pay to get other players that are more, that we need more. But I'd be happy to see him at Old Trafford. Anyway, I've blabbed on a bit too much about Rodriguez. That's a possibility. I'd be happy if it happens, even with 65 million, but I just don't think it will. Now I'll move on to the sub. Right, so here is my predicted bench. Remember though, I have two teams and I'll show you both. So a couple of these players will be in the 4-1-2-2. You can probably guess who. But yeah, the two signings that I think we will get that will be benched primarily will be Depay and Janmaat. Now Depay is an excellent young talent, and I think 15 million is the maximum, and I think Van Gaal will be able to persuade him to come over to Manchester United. We'll be able to give him the wages he wants. He's not probably used to Champions League. I think PSV do make Champions League, but I don't think it's something he'll be used to, so that won't really matter too much that we're not in there for one season. So yeah, I think he'll be a fantastic signing, and I really hope we do get him. The other one is Janmaat. Now we have been linked and he could potentially go to Newcastle, but I think he'll be used as a backup to try and, you know, perk up Raphael's performances, because they have been a bit shabby. Maybe if he's got some real competition, you know, it'll step up his game, and I think that's what Van Gaal will intend. So it'll be a battle between Janmaat and Raphael for who gets in the starting lineup. But yeah, Januzaj is another one that, again, will be in the 4-1-2-2 that I make normally, but he's young and we don't want to like run him out too much, get him too many games, so it increases the chance of injuries, which is why I've put him on the bench. He will be used a hell of a lot next year by Van Gaal. Van Gaal likes his young talent, and Januzaj is certainly our brightest spot at the minute, and the rest of them are pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. I think Evra will go to Juventus. I think Hernandez will end up leaving. Fellaini will leave. Young will leave. Cleverly, I don't even want to talk about him. And yeah, these are just self-explanatory, so I'll get into the main team now. Right, so here is my starting lineup. Now, the difference that the other formation would have is I would have kind of this. I'll quickly do it. You've probably guessed. But yeah, that would be like the sub kind of thing in a 4-1-2-1-2, but then in a 4-1-2-2 brackets. I think this will be our main formation. And yeah, it's got some pretty good players in there. Obviously, there's a couple of signings that I will go through now once I've adjusted the team. So, in defence, obviously we've already signed Luke Shaw, so he'll be our #1 left back, even if Evra is here. I mean, Evra will still play, but obviously 18-year-old, 30 million, you know, such a great talent. We're not going to bench him, are we? So yeah, the next centre-back could potentially be Phil Jones, but I think Smalling warrants it a bit more. We're probably not going to sign 2 or 3 centre-backs. So, you know, one of these, they do have excellent potential, and Van Gaal could unlock that. So I think Smalling's going to be there. Obviously, De Gea, it's a formality. You know, he's definitely a solid keeper. I think he was the second best last season behind Petr Cech in the BPL. So yeah, the next one is Stefan de Vrij, I think, or de Vrij. He's fantastic. He's really, really young. And again, a Netherlands player, and he's got great potential, and I think we will end up signing him. I think he plays for Celtic now, and he'd be a wonderful signing in the centre-back. Obviously, if we do manage to get Matt Hummels, he'll be in here, probably ahead of De Vrij. We probably won't get De Vrij if we do get Hummels, but we'll see. This is my opinion. Right back could either be Janmaat or Raphael, but I think Raphael will just pip it, and if he steps up his performances, he certainly has the potential to do well. Next one is William Carvalho. Now, Sporting Lisbon won 37 million euros, which is his buyout clause. Now, I think we'd be able to whittle that down to about 30 million euros, which is the equivalent to about 25 million, I think. And yes, we're spending big, but we're going to need to, and this player is a young starlet. He's fantastic, and in that midfield, he'd be wonderful for us. I think he's 6'3", is it? 6'2", so he's very, very tall. He's a solid CDM. He's exactly what we need. Someone who stays back and can also exert pressure on the forwards and, you know, pass his way forward. It's just fantastic. He'd be a wonderful signing. Vidal, the #1 signing I want us to get. I really want to see this guy in a Manchester United shirt. I don't care what it takes. 40 million plus Nani, take it. I don't care. You know, Nani's getting a little bit past it for us. Maybe he'll do well for Juventus, but I just don't rate him as a Manchester United player anymore. I think his performances have been too dull. But yeah, Vidal, we need to sign him. He is apparently favourites to come to us ahead of Real Madrid, which is a big shock. But you know, Real Madrid are formalising, or making Toni Kroos their #1. So Vidal is a big target for us, and I really, really do want to see him at Old Trafford. He'd be exactly what we need, a perfect centre mid to partner under Herrera, who I'm really happy we managed to sign another midfielder. If we do find this if we do sign this midfield trio, then that gets rid of the need for players like Fellaini and stuff, and it sorts our midfield problem. And yeah, it would just be fantastic. Mata, Rooney and Van Persie all have done well for Manchester United. I definitely want to see Mata deployed in that #10 role. Fuck putting him on the wing. He's wasted there. Fuck not using him. If I had to choose Rooney or Mata, it would be Mata. He is just, his passes are just more pinpoint. He's a better #10. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rooney leave. Just 300k a week, and if Van Gaal does use his preferred formations and use one striker, it's going to be Van Persie. He's going to be made the captain. He's the Netherlands captain. He is going to be the captain, and I can see Rooney getting sold because he's not going to want 300k a week sitting on the bench, is he? So yeah, but this is my prediction. I think we'll end up keeping Rooney, but I'm just saying it's a massive possibility that we could sell him. Again, my opinion, I know this is going to cause a hell of a lot of uproar in the comment section because it always does with predictions, but if you do have a different opinion, then please just write it down in the comments why and what you think. Don't be a dick about it, like saying you're fucking retarded, why do you think this, this, this and this. But yeah, my opinion, I've blabbed on for ages. I am very passionate about Manchester United, obviously, as I do support them. I've got a cold, so I sound like a complete idiot. But yeah, this is my predictions. Hopefully you do enjoy, and yeah, peace.